Icons of Real Estate, Oregon. Are you ready to learn from the real-life experiences and the proven money-making secrets of Oregon's top producers? If you're an ambitious real estate agent in Oregon ready to skyrocket your business, then this podcast is for you. I'm your host, Maureen Healy, licensed Oregon realtor. Tune in weekly where every guest will have a story to tell and tips to share to help you increase your own business. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO, and your all-inclusive real estate platform, Icons of Real Estate. Hi, my name is Maureen Healy, and this is the Oregon Icons of Real Estate podcast. Today, I have with me Dewey Whitton, who is the principal broker and owner of the Salem Real Estate Group in Salem, Oregon. Welcome, Dewey.
Thank you, Maureen. Happy to be here.
Thank you for making some time in your busy schedule for this. I'd like to start off by just talking a little bit about how long you've been in this business and how you came into real estate. Did you choose it?
Yes, I did choose it a long time ago. So I've been selling homes for over 35 years and originally started in Annapolis, Maryland at the very young age of 24. And one of the things I would suggest to people who are thinking about getting into real estate now is to not try and do it all by yourself. Having been on that journey for a long time, it was very interesting to start so young and a lot of great mentors, not only in agents, but brokers. And then I moved after 5 years to a new market. And that was a big change. And I was in that market for 5 years and then moved again to Salem, Oregon in 1995, which is where I've been ever since. And it's been fantastic. That's the other thing I would suggest people getting into the business, don't move every 5 years. It's not.
Then you have to kind of start from scratch if you do, right?
Pretty much. I've joined the Chamber of Commerce in every town that I lived in.
So what drew you to real estate at age 24?
Well, that's actually an interesting story. At the time, I had a relative that was in real estate and also friends that were in the mortgage business. And they said, you would be really great at real estate. And so I pursued it. And to this day, it's truly, it's who I am because I love people and it's been just a gift. It's been a gift to me all these years. And I'm so grateful for it because I have met so many wonderful people and made the most amazing friendships, not only in the industry, but with the people that we service.
That's awesome. A lot of people don't like, for me personally, I came into it much later. I had a whole other career before this. And I know there's various ways that people come into the business. I always love to hear the background on that. So you are the owner of the Salem Real Estate Group and the principal broker over there. When did you start that company?
So my husband and I were working together at another company, and as many will recall, 2008, 9, and 10, the market crashed.
Big time.
It was interesting times. So we quite honestly were staring down the barrel of bankruptcy and losing our home. And we just looked at each other and said, you know what, let's just go on our own and let's just do it. And so we just jumped in both feet first and opened our own company. I remember the day and the time. It was September 9th, 2009 at 9 a.m., literally. And it was the best thing we ever did. My husband was originally in the corporate world. He was a CIO at a major company, and he brought all of his experience to my business, which at the time, would have been almost 20 years in the business. Is that right? 95, 2005, 2009. Yeah. So it was amazing. So he joined me and we started that company. And again, best thing we ever did. Shortly after that, we hired a business coach.
Okay.
I think I talked to you about that before.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have kind of a unique business model as far as brokerages go. Can you talk a little bit about what makes it so different than the way the traditional brokerages are running?
Yes, our company is very different than a traditional real estate model. In 2010, we hired a business coach, but it was a business coach who was outside the real estate industry. And so he brought to our business all of the tactics, strategies, and everything that you would utilize when you're running a traditional business like a doctor's office or lawyer's office, that kind of thing. And he set our model up for us so that we move forward more like an office that provides services, again, like a doctor or an accountant. And one of the things that he had a structure was to do a salary business model versus a traditional business model, which is a brokerage fee and independent contractors. So all of our employees are paid a salary and or an hourly wage, and then they receive bonuses. They are all licensed. And so everyone can work with the clients. But the important point is that each of the people on the team have specific duties that they're responsible for. Like in a doctor's office, the nurse is not going to be operating on you. She's taking your temperature, taking your blood, that kind of thing. Whereas the surgeon is the one that meets with you about the process. So I'm the surgeon in our office, okay. And then we have nurses handling the transaction coordination. So it's really works very well because the client gets much better service than they would get with one person trying to do everything. So we have a photographer, we have a videographer, we have a copywriter, we've got the transaction coordinator, we have a marketing coordinator, we have an individual that handles all the incoming leads, the ISA is called in the industry, inside sales associate. And then we have showing specialists, and then I go on listing appointments, and then I also am training people on my team to go on listing appointments. My husband's behind the scenes, and he takes care of all the operational pieces of the puzzle. So it really has been incredibly successful, and it definitely gives the client a much higher level of service. And we started that in 2010. So it's it'll be 13 years in July.
Wow, that's amazing. That is a very different way of structuring the business. And it's interesting to hear how successful that's been for you. It sounds like that everyone within your brokerage has a very defined role and they stay in their lane, and together it makes the complete picture of what a client needs.
Exactly. But to your point, they are also cross-trained so that if somebody's not available or somebody wants to go on a vacation for a week, we can fill in because they're cross-trained. And then also it brings balance, and life balance is really important to me, and it always has been. And so it's important to our team. Our culture is important from a life balance perspective. So people have children and pets and husbands. And a lot of times I've found in real estate, it's to the detriment of those relationships. And so we structured it so that everybody gets time off, and they don't have to carry their phone. So everyone in the office has their own phone that we provide. And every client of the company is truly a client of the company, not each individual licensed person in our office. So it's to provide better service to the client. And I really feel in my heart that this is the future of real estate. Boutique firms that are taking care of clients in a more specialized way, more personal way. And we'll touch on that in a little bit.
Okay. I think that's really important. The thing that you mentioned, that your team is cross-trained, one. So if anybody is out for whatever reason, vacation or illness, that you're still covered, but also to give that life balance, which can be extremely difficult in this job. Absolutely. I mean, I've had clients with no boundaries in the past, 10 o'clock phone calls, 5 a.m. text messages, that sort of thing. And when you want to go on a vacation, sometimes it's really hard, even if you're physically maybe at the beach or something, you could potentially be working the entire time attached to your phone. So that's really nice that you have that benefit for them.
Exactly. It's so true. I mean, if any realtors are listening to this podcast right now or watching this video, they know that they're tied to their phone. I'm really grateful that we can give our team that opportunity to take that break and spend truly quality time. And one of the things I've been reading about recently is mindfulness, being mindful and being in the moment with the people that are important to you.
That's true, especially with young kids. Like I have two boys, and there are times when I am looking at my phone all the time, or I'm in the middle of a text message and they're like trying to talk to me. And I say, well, can just give me a minute. They're like, but you're on your phone. I'm like, well, yes, I am on my phone, but it's a work message and I need to do it. But it's really hard sometimes to just turn it off completely, but very important to be able to do so.
Yeah, and we have to.
We do.
Yeah, we have to.
I know that you have quite a few realtor specialty designations, and I wanted you to talk a little bit about that. I know that you've got the Master Certified Negotiation Expert. That's something actually I'm interested in pursuing at some point, in your seniors real estate specialist and a few other things. Could you just talk about that education process and how it's benefited you over the years?
I would say of all the designations that I've gotten, the MCNE was absolutely the most valuable in terms of servicing clients and negotiations. What I found after I went through that class is a lot of agents are very combative. And they're like, well, my client won't let you do that, or my client won't let that happen. Well, they say these kinds of things, but they haven't even talked to the client. So with the MCNE education teaches you the different ways to negotiate. That also segues to that my favorite book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And so negotiation is a big part of what we do, whether it's with agents, clients, offers, repair requests. There's always negotiations going on. Negotiations for your brokerage fee with a potential new seller. I mean, negotiations are what this business is all about after you have relationship piece in place.
Yes. The important order of operations, right?
Right. The other designation that I think is extremely valuable, was very valuable to me when I was young, starting out, was CRS. That was one of the first designations that I went after, because it was a international group to network with. And it talked about goal setting, and it talked about business plans, and it talked about good basic practices right off the bat. So I was able to get this great education on what to do and how to do it early on.
I think that's vitally important, especially for people who have never run their own business before. And, most people are an independent contractor, and different brokerages offer various levels of training. But if you don't really nail it at the beginning, it's going to be hard to have a long, successful career in without that discipline and framework in place.
Yeah, it's true. That it is so true. And that most people, we tend to not be disciplined.
It can be hard, especially, if you're used to a structured job and then you transition into this where you're kind of on your own in a way, and depending on what unless you join a team right off the bat. But if you're coming into this just completely independent and running, your own schedule day to day, it's making sure that you hit all of the things that you need to be doing to sustain your business.
Well, and that brings up a good point when you talk about not really having a schedule and joining a team. I mean, you can join, in my opinion, there's two types of teams. One, the team that we have, and I have people on my team, they would not be in real estate if we didn't have the structure that they have, because they did not want to be out there on their own trying to find buyers and sellers and make it happen. The other type of team is the team where everybody's competing against each other. And I don't know how you can have a positive culture when everyone on the team is competing against each other for leads, for sellers. It doesn't make for a positive environment. It makes for a competitive environment. And a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. And that's why another reason why our business model is just so fantastic.
Yeah, I have not been on a team before, so I don't really know too much about it. I know they can, run very differently from one to the next, but it is nice to have a spirit of collaboration versus competition.
Exactly. And with our team, somebody's off for the day, somebody else can show the client a house.
Very important, so that you don't have gaps or have to put the client off for a day or two.
Exactly.
We have to be available on their schedule, not the other way around.
Right. Somebody wants to write an offer today, we have somebody to write an offer today.
That's definitely something you don't want to miss. Say, sorry, I'm not available.
Right, exactly. And I've heard that from clients that have come to us. We want to work with you. Do we want to work with your company because we've read your Google reviews or we've read your Zillow reviews? They want to work with us because they see the reviews about the team, and they've worked with agents that said where they've lost houses or where the agent didn't show them a house for 2 days and then the house sold. I mean, there are
Right.
so many situations like that where we've gotten fantastic clients because they did the research after they had a bad experience and said, this is the kind of service we want.
What would you say is going well in your business?
That is an excellent question. I would say right now, our culture of our team is fantastic. We've got probably the best team we've ever had in 20 years of forming teams and working with them. Absolutely the best team. Everyone is focused. We all have the same interests. We all have dogs. We all like to exercise. We like to eat well. Everybody likes a glass of wine now and then. And so culture is going really well. The team, the continuity of the team right now is fantastic. And even in this environment, which is challenging, I mean, there are a lot of agents that are just, they're out. They're not, it's not happening for them right now. In this environment, we are thriving. We've got clients that are referring us business, past clients referring us business. We've got just amazing, amazing business. It's how we've structured the way we keep in touch with our past clients, which is a point that I talked with you about earlier. It's critically important. Like the number one tip, you asked me, what's the number one thing you would tell somebody to do in their business? If you do nothing else, take care of your past clients and your current clients in a meaningful and relevant way for the rest of their lives, and they will always refer you business. It's absolutely critical. You've got to take care of the people that you've taken care of already because they know you, love you, and trust you. Now, if it was a bad relationship, that's a different story. Maybe you need to work on some of your processes, but honestly, the number one thing is just keeping in touch. If I had a database for all the people I've worked with in the last 27 years, wow. I have a great
quite large, I'm sure.
A great database because we've implemented that over the last 15 years, but oh my gosh. Well, I have some clients that have returned time and again, or now clients who are referring their children to us to buy a home.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
That's when you know you've been in the business a long time, when you're selling houses to your clients' children.
Absolutely. Is there anything on the other side of that question that you would like to improve, or tasks that you would want to offload in your day-to-day routine?
That's an excellent question. And because of what we've done over the last 12 years, I've structured it so that I've virtually delegated everything off my plate. I don't do laundry. I don't mow the lawn. I don't show houses as much as I used to because I focus just on the listings. I delegate writing offers. I delegate everything so I can focus on the things that I do best and that I love doing. And that's being with people, going on listing appointments, and negotiating. Those are my primary things. And if the girls on the team, I tell them, if I'm not doing those three things, stop me, take it off my plate, because that's all I should be doing.
Right. And then I think it really allows you to thrive in the things that you love the most, and then lets the other people thrive in the tasks that they're designated, and make it a well-oiled machine.
Well, and you bring up a good point. So the people thriving within what they do well, there's 4 personality types, and the DISC, which if anybody's not familiar with that, Google it. That is like the best thing, to be able to work with your team in the way that they want to be communicated with, and also to work with clients. Are they quiet? Are they introspective? Are they detail oriented? Are they the partiers? Are they a leader? You want to be able to communicate with different people in your team, and there's a great book that talks about putting the right people in the right seats in the office so that they're in a place where they're happy, they're doing what they want to do and what they do best. Like, for example, our marketing gal, she loves organizing events and she's really good at it. Our showing specialists, they love people and they love just going out and showing houses. Our transaction coordinator and our Listing coordinator, very detail oriented, all about making sure the details get taken care of. And there's a different persona for each of the people or each of the positions for the people on your team. I would wilt like a flower, a wilted flower, if I was doing administrative work all day. It is not what my soul craves. I crave people and the challenges of the negotiations.
Excellent. What type of community involvement or community activities are you involved in your area?
This is a great question. I truly feel like more realtors need to be involved in the community. I always say when I'm talking to potential clients that we give back to the community that gives so much to us. We're involved with the Chamber of Commerce. We're involved with Rotary. We're involved with the Boys and Girls Club. I've been on the board for Boys and Girls Club for 17 years. I just learned the other day. I didn't realize so much time had gone by. And we give to our local carousel. We have a really beautiful carousel where all the horses are hand carved. So giving back in the community is really important to us. And we go to events, we sponsor events, and we get out and help with events. We lead. We are chairs of committees. We are on committees where we like to be very involved. And it's where our clients are. It's where our friends are. We want to be out there and be involved in the community. It's critically important because your client, that's where your clients are. They're out there involved in the community. And if they don't see you out there, they're talking to me.
That's right. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about how easy it is in this job to be consumed by it, and having a life balance is very important. So what kinds of things do you enjoy outside of your work life?
I'm very fortunate because I have the time to be able to do the things that I love to do. I'm an avid gardener. I'm a golfer. I'm a skier. I do yoga almost every day. I run almost every day. And I paint. I'm an artist. I had a lot to do. Like, it would be really easy to retire. I would never be bored. But I love real estate too. I love to helping people. So for me, you know, having that balance of being able to do what I love and be with people that I love, it's really, it's a gift. I am so grateful for this industry, this business. Where we are, the town that I live in, Salem, Oregon, is so special, and the people are fantastic. I mean, I'm really grateful that we are in the beautiful Willamette Valley where we are. I mean, it's truly spectacular.
It is. It's such a great area. I came from living in California before. I was in Los Angeles for 10 years, but I've been up here now for more than that. But just coming into this climate where we've got the ocean is just, you know, about an hour and a half away on one side. Mount Hood's about an hour in the other direction. We've got amazing wineries and just beautiful hiking and scenery everywhere you look. I love it.
Yeah, it is beautiful. The hiking, fishing. I mean, there's so much to do here year round.
Absolutely. Never run out of options.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say some of your favorite business books are?
Business books. So we touched on a couple. Touched on Never Split the Difference, which I think is just, I've listened to it like 4 times. Mindset by Carol Dweck is another excellent one. I'm constantly reading. I mean, reading and education are so important to me. I was not given the opportunity to go to college, and so I'm my own college now. I'm constantly teaching myself, learning new things. Right now I'm learning how to play mahjong, which is so random.
That's the tiles, right? The small tiles. I'm vaguely familiar, but I don't know the rules of it.
It is.
Is it fun?
It's complicated. It's really complicated. So I'm constantly looking for new things to learn, and you know, it's just keeping and staying young at heart. I don't have kids. I have a wonderful dog that I just adore. He's my running buddy and my amazing husband. So I have time to do all those extra things because I didn't have children. So it's been an amazing life.
What kind of dog do you have?
Dexter is a black lab.
Oh, I used to have a chocolate lab.
They're so sweet. Those
Very
big
sweet.
eyes,
Hmm.
just pure love.
We have a golden retriever now, and he's also like the best personality. So sweet.
They're so sweet. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love dogs. I love all animals.
Is there anything else that you would like to share or any other tips for people that are either new to this business or maybe they've been in for a while but are looking for another thing to add to their repertoire?
Absolutely. One of the things that we found that's been incredibly valuable is taking our database, segmenting it out, and we segment it to the top 100, which are all the people that refer to us regularly. And we take extra special care of these people. They get, like we just sent candy for Valentine's. We sent them a little box of C's candies to thank them. And every month we do something like that just to touch them and let them know how special they are to us. And then we combine the 100 with the 300, and the top 300 are all the people that have bought or sold homes with us, keep in touch with, and we invite them to 4 quarterly events. So we have an ice cream social, we have a cocktail party, we have a barbecue, and then we have a daffodil party at my house. I have like tens of thousands of daffodils. So
Oh my
every
goodness.
March we invite the entire database to my home to come pick daffodils. So we have an open garden for
Oh,
2 days in March, the 18th and 19th. And it's really fun. People come and go and they bring their kids. And so the events I feel are just so valuable, keeping in touch with the clients, having the events. The other event that we do is a pumpkin pie giveaway.
Mm.
But we incorporate with that a toy drive for the Boys and Girls Club. So we give away the pies at Thanksgiving, and then we also put on there for people to please bring in a toy for the Boys and Girls Club. So
Well, that's a
we
great
had a
idea.
huge pile of toys this year. And it's interesting. People will say, I don't really need a pie or want a pie, but can I bring a toy in? And absolutely, of course. So, giving back, again, it goes back to giving back, it's so important. Giving back to the community is critical, critical, critical.
It is. And I love that you found a way to give your clients the gift of a pie and then also incorporate them into your community involvement and doing a toy drive for needy children. That's amazing. Like they're getting some love from you and then they're, sharing love with a cause that's close to your heart. That's a great idea.
Exactly. Yeah. And the Boys and Girls Club really appreciates it.
I'm
Um,
sure.
that's the Boys and Girls Club. That's another event that I work on. It's an art auction because my mother was an artist, and
Oh,
I'm really supportive of the art. So the Boys and Girls Club has an art auction every year that I chair to raise money for the art programs at
oh, that's
the
wonderful.
8 clubs that we have in our area.
That's a lot. Wow. I think we only have, I don't know, I only know of one over here I know the Portland one, but I don't
Mhm.
know of others that are close by. I don't think we have that many. I'm not
Wow.
sure.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable organization. I mean, they serve over 6,000 children.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time today. I really appreciate it. And I love hearing your perspective on things, especially someone who's been in the business this long and has been through pretty much, I'm sure, every scenario in a transaction you could ever imagine.
I don't think so, Maureen. That's the beauty of real estate. Every week there's something new. Like, something will come. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before.
Do you still get surprised?
There's always something to learn. Always.
This is true. One thing that I have started doing is I have spreadsheets with my business planning and things like that. I started a tab called Lessons Learned. And
Oh,
I'm
good
jotting
idea.
things down because, it's easy to forget over time, but just I found that reviewing that every so often is really helpful because I'm like, if it happened once, it'll probably happen again or something similar. And I want to remember the best way to handle it or just, that I have dealt with this before.
Exactly. Yeah, again, I mean, there's something new every week. It's just like, it's
Sometimes really bizarre things too.
yeah. Well, and it's nice because it keeps us thinking, it keeps us growing. And one thing about real estate is you'll never be bored.
That is true. Very, very true. Well, as we wrap up here, if anybody, any of the agents that are listening to this podcast would like to reach out and get in touch with you, how would they best reach you?
The best way to reach me is by calling me. I'm kind of old school that way.
Okay.
Pick up the phone and call. That is the best way. I'm so many people now is communicate with text and email, and it just so dilutes the relationships of the world.
It does.
Really, you can't get tone in an email or a text. And I'm one of those people, like, I text someone 3 words and expect them to know exactly what I mean. So I am definitely a DI in the DISC program, which reminds me, that's another book that's excellent. It's called Stop Squatting on Your Spurs. Great book about personality types.
Okay, I have not heard of that one. I'll have to check that out. And
That's a fun one.
What is your phone number if you'd like to share that?
Phone number is 503-949-3623.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And we appreciate learning more about the Salem Real Estate Group today.
My pleasure, Maureen. Thank you. And great questions. I really appreciate your patience with me on this whole process.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.